You see Celine's asleep, Haley's right next to me watching TV. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on everything, and yeah, just so you guys can be informed on what's going on. And I know I probably scared people because I said something about scary stuff happening, so if you keep watching this video, we'll get into what has been happening with me. And so let's begin this video and update. So November 8th, I went to get my confirmation. So I know, I'm pretty sure in the last video I had said I was going to the doctor's November 1st to get the heartbeat confirmation, but they weren't able to see like a flutter, which was how they, you know, detect the heartbeat. So I had to go back November 8th. So when I went back November 8th, as you can see, the heartbeat is very strong. The baby's heartbeat was 125 beats per minute. A little second picture of the baby. It's the sac. That's the baby. And I believe it's the baby's head. I'm not sure. But yeah, so they got the heartbeat. But like, so usually I go to my appointments the earliest I can. And so that day I went to my appointment 7:15, 7:30 or so. So I had to wait for them to get back to me with my progesterone results and my HCG results to see how my levels were going, because since I am on shots, those shots help keep everything in place. So then around like 3-4 p.m. they were calling me and they were telling me, what are you doing? Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, because my progesterone levels were extremely low. Like extremely low. They were, I think, like at an 8 or a 9, and they're supposed to be like above, I'm gonna say above like 25. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe even 40. I can't remember, but they just told me that, you know, your progesterone levels are really low, you know, you might miscarry and stuff. And so the reason why you know, they were so worried about this was because, you know, obviously it's not a regular pregnancy. You don't get pregnant the way you would naturally, you know, it's IVF. So with that being said, the shots help my body. Like, I took the shots before I started doing, you know, I got the transfer, and that's because it helps prepare your body for pregnancy, or it helps make your body think you're pregnant. So that way when they implant the embryo, which is 2 weeks old, by the way, when they implant the embryo will stick because your body already thinks it's pregnant. And so, so with my progesterone levels being super low, they were worried that I was gonna miscarry, or it was just not gonna stick, because with the progesterone, it's gonna help. Like, the baby needs a progesterone to, you know, live and stick inside. And so, so, you know, I got in trouble. They were like, what are you doing? You're not doing what you're supposed to. You're supposed to be doing this and that, and, you know, yelling at me and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm doing what I need to. Like, you know, like, I take my shots every day when Christian gets off work. When he gets home from work, he gives me my shot. And I do the inserts, and, you know, like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. And then every 3 days I have to take another shot. So every day I take 1 shot for sure, and then every 3 days I have to do 2 shots. And so, I mean, I do it, it hurts, I have to do it, whatever. But yeah, so they were like really mad. Then the next day they sent me these progesterone tablets type thing, and they're like they're kind of maybe a little bit bigger than a dime, only because they're squared. And let me tell you, those things hurt. Like, they hurt, like, trying to swallow them. So, like, I have to, like, cut them in half. But since they're sharp edges, they kind of hurt going down my throat. But whatever, like, I have to take them. So those I have to take 4 times a day. And then the inserts 3 times a day. And then my shots 1 time a day. So right now, I'm still currently on 3 different forms of progesterone. And so they had me taking those for, I think it was like a 10 days. So wait, November 8th, and then I went back, yeah, November 18th. So then they had me go back November 18th to see how my levels were doing, and, you know, hopefully everything was working out, and, you know, my levels were going up. So when we went back, we had a heartbeat confirmation again, and the baby's heartbeat was 172 beats per minute. You can see the little baby right there. Look at the baby, looks like a little gummy bear. It's so cute. I remember when I was pregnant with Haley and she looked like a little gummy bear. And so yeah, and that's the baby, and then the little circle right there, that's the sac. And so yeah, so then, you know, everything looked good. Later on they called us with the results of the levels, and everything was in normal range. So then they were like, you know, you're good, come back December 2nd for your, you know, next ultrasound and blood test. So I was relieved, like, yes, like I was so, like, even though they don't want you to stress out, but then they tell you all this, so you're stressing out because obviously you don't want to lose the baby, and you don't want to have problems with your intended parents, because if they think I'm not doing anything that I'm supposed to, then who's to say the parents aren't going to think the same thing, you know? So that could have just been like a whole set of problems. And that's the last thing I'd want right now, is to have problems with my intended parents, and like I'm pregnant for like 8 months or whatever. Stop, Haley. And you know, and they have to deal with me, and you know, I have to be like dealing with them, of course, and I just wouldn't want that. And like, they're really nice. I mean, well, I just know the mom like through text messaging, but either way, she's really nice. But yeah, so that was last Monday, the 18th. And then, you know, on, I think it was Wednesday, I started having a little pain in my stomach. It was like cramping, but I figured it was normal. Like, it wasn't to nothing where I couldn't like handle it. So I just, like, you know, like I had pain, whatever, brushed it off and stuff. And then, you know, of course, either way, I'm still kind of, I wasn't on bed rest, but it was kind of like, you know, take it easy, low stress, like, you know, don't do no heavy lifting. So since last week, or no, since the 8th, since when my progesterone levels were really low, I haven't really been carrying Selene a lot. And so, you know, I've just been scared, unless Christian's like at work and like I have to, like, real quick, then I will. But I try my best not to carry her a lot anymore. And so so yeah, so like I was having pain that day, and then Thursday I still had a little pain, but it wasn't like, again, it wasn't too bad. So around like 10 p.m. or so, I had used the restroom, and sorry, this might be too much information, but I had used the restroom, and like, I don't know, like I looked down, you know, and there's blood, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just started crying. And then like and there was blood like on my underwear, you know. So then I look in the toilet, and it's like a lot of blood. So I just sit there, like I just sit there, and I'm like, Christian, but he was in the kitchen, so he couldn't hear me yet. So I just sat there until like he would get closer so I could say his name again. And I was just sitting there, and like I started crying, because I was like, oh my gosh, like if I lost the baby, like oh my gosh, like the parents, like they're gonna be so sad, you know. And the mom had just lost one too when she was 8 weeks, so I was 8 weeks at the time. So I was just like, dang it, like I lost it, like there's no way, like the baby's, you know, like there's no way it wasn't the baby. So then Christian comes in, he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm bleeding, like I'm bleeding. And so he's like, what do you mean? And then like literally within seconds of him being in the restroom, all you hear is just like poosh, and that was blood. Like that, like it was like a gush of blood that just came out of me. And he was like, what was that? And I was like, it was blood, like it was blood. And so I started crying more, and I was like, I can't do this, like I need you, like telling Christian, like I can't do this without you, like I need you. Like I was all, you know, crying and stuff. I'm like, what am I gonna tell them? Like they're gonna be so worried. And then at the time too, I was worried because like I feel like, you know, I've been very irritable lately. So like my big girl Haley Bug, she kind of frustrates me. Like I don't know, she knows how to frustrate me a lot. So like I was feeling so bad because the next day was her like Thanksgiving thing at school, and I had volunteered to help. And so I was like emotional, because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to go to that, I'm not gonna be able to go help. And she was so excited, she was expecting me to be there. And you know, I was just like all emotional for that reason too, because I was like, that's at least one thing I wanted to do for her, and you know, all sad and stuff. And so then well, I mean, you know, there was nothing really I could do. So I messaged one of the people from my agency that I'm working with, And I told her, like, well, at first I had messaged my caseworker and I called her, but it was late, you know, and she didn't answer. So I just texted her, but then I messaged another person from the agency, and I just told her, like, I'm bleeding, like, what do I do, you know, like, do I go to the hospital? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you know, because it's not like if it was me being pregnant, it was my kid. Like, I don't just go to the hospital, because this is surrogacy. It's two totally different, you know, situations. And so she's like, no, like, you can go to or hold on, let me call the nurse. She called the nurse, and the nurse told her, okay, just have her come down to the clinic in Pasadena. Usually I go to Rancho for like my little appointments, but I had to go to Pasadena the next day. So that was the 22nd. I had to go to Pasadena. And, you know, like, I ended up, like, after that whole situation, I just took a shower real quick, and well, not real quick, to be honest. Like, I went in the shower and I just was crying. I was just feeling bad. I was blaming myself, like, oh my gosh, like, what's gonna happen now? Like, they're, you know, like, it's my fault. Like, it's just my fault. And so, yeah, of course I was crying. And so I stood in the shower for like maybe like 5 minutes, and I was just crying in there. And then I got out, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, it's like, if it didn't stick, it didn't stick. I mean, what can I do, you know? And so the next day we go, and they checked the baby, and the baby was perfectly fine. Look at her. Oh, by the way, she's a girl. I found out her gender. So she's a girl. Yay. And I didn't find out through the ultrasound, because obviously you can't see the gender. Look how little the baby is. They find out the gender because they do, like, they prepare the baby and everything in like a dish, you know, so they already know what the baby's gonna be prior to putting the baby, like, implanting the baby. So yeah, so the baby is fine, and her heartbeat was 176 beats per minute when I went on Friday. So the doctor said, oh, another thing that I forgot to mention was that I have a subchorionic hemorrhage. And when I was pregnant with Celine, I had the same thing. So, but the only thing is that when I was pregnant with Celine, I didn't bleed like the way I bled last Thursday. I just, you know, like, I had like spotting. And so when I was pregnant with Haley, I had spotting as well. So when I was pregnant with Haley, I didn't even go to the doctors or nothing. I just thought, like, you know, it's my first time being pregnant. Like, it's just a baby. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was normal. So then with Celine, I had pain. Like, I was in a lot of pain. I think I even got dizzy or something. So I had went to the hospital, and, you know, that's when they found that I had the subchorionic hemorrhage. And then, so yeah, so then with this pregnancy, I also have it again. And so they told me, you know, like, I had to be careful and stuff. So when the doctor seen the baby in the ultrasound on Friday, he was like, well, I thought maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the blood clot from the subchorionic hemorrhage. And he said that he's still seen it there. So he doesn't think that that's what it was. But he did say that sometimes when the baby is too low, it can cause bleeding. And I was just like, yeah, but, you know, like, bleeding the way I was bleeding, like, you know, I'm still bleeding, you know. And he's like, well, I mean, you've seen it for yourself, you know. The baby's fine, like, she's in there, she's sticking, you know, like, her heart is beating. And so obviously that was like a total, like, literally, like, when he said that, I was just like like, I took a breath. Like, finally I was able to breathe, because I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like, I was just like stressed out. I was feeling like horrible, blaming myself, and, you know, but the baby's fine. She's good. She's growing. I still have my subchorionic hemorrhage, so I am, since last Friday, I am officially on bed rest, or like, I have been on bed rest, which hasn't been easy, because obviously Christian still works, and Haley is very needy, and so is Celine. So I have just been in my bed, but honestly, I think being on bed rest has to be one of the worst things ever. Like, I mean, I still get up, and I still, you know, go to the kitchen, go to the restroom, like, obviously I still do my normal things, but, like, I pretty much can't go anywhere, and that, like, it's just making me crazy. Like, I know I really don't go anywhere anyways, But the fact that like I'm literally like not supposed to go anywhere like that, like it's just like a thought in my head, like, oh my gosh, like I need to get out, like I'm just in this room all day, like. And then my Haley bug is like, she just knows how to get me frustrated. My poor child. If you have 5-year-olds, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So I'm on bed rest. I go back to the doctor's on Monday, and hopefully everything's fine. I mean, as far as like the bleeding, I'm not bleeding like red, bright red anymore, but I'm still having really bad cramps. I've been getting a headache, like a migraine, like every single day. It's hard for me to eat. Morning sickness has definitely taken its toll on my body right now, because I eat like once a day, and that's all. Like I can only eat like one good meal. Like obviously I can do like little snacks, but like one good meal is like the most I can handle for some reason. And poor Christian, he like the other day he made like hot dogs, and I couldn't finish it. Like I ate some of it and I couldn't finish it, and so he kind of got like upset. Like he's like, it's just when I cook, like you don't like eating my food. And it's not even that, it's just like I just don't feel good. Mind you, he had just finished saying, oh, hot dogs are made of buttholes and lips or something. I don't remember, something like that. So that didn't help. So I don't know, I tried to tell him it's not his fault that I can't eat, like it's not his food. Like I love hot dogs. If you know me, you know hot dogs are like one of my favorite things ever. But yeah, it was he's dumb. But so yeah, so I have not been able to eat very good, and yeah, so pregnancy is fun. I don't regret it. That's another thing. I've had a few people ask me like, oh, do you regret it now, like because of everything that's happening? And I don't regret it. It's just I don't want to be feeling like this. Like I don't want to be in bed rest. Like I don't want to have like morning sickness. Like I just want to be like in the middle where it's like, all right, you know, like I'll get heartburn, but like whatever. That's where I want to be. And then it's like almost done, you know. But I'm just in the beginning, and you know, this whole first trimester is the hardest, especially in surrogacy, as I'm witnessing and going through. And you know, my aunt who did surrogacy, when I was pregnant with Celine, she was pregnant of her surro baby. She said the same thing, like the first trimester is like the hardest. And she's not wrong. Like it really is. Like it's so frustrating, and then they don't want you to get frustrated, but then they're like scaring you, so then obviously you're gonna get frustrated. And it's just so much, like so much. But I'm getting through it. I'm trying my best to, you know, it's only like what, 6 more days, 5 more days, and then hopefully I'm off bed rest and I can go back to my whatever I do, because I need to be able to, I mean, either way I don't go anywhere, but I want to be able to know I can go somewhere if I want to, you know what I mean? And with this, I can't, they don't want me doing anything. So like tomorrow for Thanksgiving, I will be going to my brother-in-law's house, but I'll just be chilling, like laying down, like, or not laying down, but like sitting down, because I just can't be standing up for long periods of time. And then I'm not driving right now. Christian is the one driving, because I get road rage, so I can't drive. Also, Christian's driving stresses me out, but whatever, I'll just blindfold myself or something. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it on our update for the surrogacy. Oh, thank you for watching. I'm sorry if you didn't want to watch me talk for 20 minutes or so, but that's my update for you guys. And I'm sorry again that it took so long. Just haven't been feeling myself. Been going through a lot, as you can tell in what everything I've just explained. But yeah, I will do another video next week. It'll probably be super short, because I'm hoping it's just gonna be good news, like you're good, the baby's still growing, you know, she's measuring the way she's supposed to measure, and like hopefully that will be the video. But come next week, I will record the video. I don't know when I'll post it, because I'm a little lagger at it sometimes, but I'll try my best to post it within the few days after that. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm gonna end this video right here because I don't want this little one to wake up and be a booty. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell button, that way you get notified each time we post a new video, and hit that like button. And any comments or questions that you guys have, please leave them down below and we'll get to them when we do our next videos. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.